Today on Mysterious Morsels, we're talking about the Munsters and the Addams family. Who could not love those two shows? I just remember growing up with them, even though they were made before my time. I definitely watched them in syndication. They're still on now. Gotta love the idea of having two creepy, macabre families, although I'd have to say the black and white did it for me, which I heard that the shows were actually supposed to be in color, but then it went better with the whole theme. So what possessed people in the 60s to do that? I don't know. It was like a Leave It to Beaver version of the spooky, creepy family, and then they, of course, had the token normal person that would be as a part of the family that was not creepy, that they thought was weird. So Marilyn, who was supposed to obviously be mimicked after Marilyn Monroe. And you had this whole hodgepodge of monsters. I mean, even I would argue that Lily in the Monsters was supposed to be Morticia, but obviously they weren't the same show. And I believe that the Addams family showed up very close in time. So I don't know if that was a copycat maneuver or what. But Fred Gwynne, who had been on Car 54, Where Are You?, had worked with the grandpa before. So making like each monster, it's cool because you've got Frankenstein, and of course they don't act and behave the way that you would think, but then they've got the Wolfman, this is little Eddie Munster, and you've got the I'll say the macabre mom that's supposed to be almost Elvira-like, but that was way before Elvira. We'll just say like Queen of Bride of Dracula kind of thing. And then you've got Dracula, which is, of course, is the grandfather. And then Marilyn was like the token normal person. But even the extras, Spot was always in the basement. It's just the whole house and the 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Like there was every little bit of homage that you can give to anything creepy and spooky, but done in a funny, uplifting, happy, wholesome way, so you wanted to watch them. It wasn't scary. It was almost like Haunted Mansion in Disney, and I would argue that Haunted Mansion's actually got half funny and half creepy, and the creepy part is actually kind of creepy compared to the show. The show was never something that people would be afraid of, or that a kid couldn't watch, or it was always a cute little moral story and something fun and campy, and it was almost like Malibu Beach, but just in a creepy old house. So it's very neat. For me, it made me laugh because Spot underneath the staircase was a big joke in my family, because in the cul-de-sac in which I live, there was in the corner there's a mansion that still stands. Which, if you want to hear all about that, I wrote in my book, Ominous Tales, which is going to be released on Amazon soon. I know you want a copy, so you can check everything out at the end. Once you've liked and subscribed, of course, at the end to scare the like button. But I do write about that mansion in the book because they had a wine cellar, and it was literally a mansion that was from the 1700s, and it had like creepy stairwells and second entrances and like a back room and the classic bookcase that pushed into a secret chamber that took you to the lower level, and they had a couple of them in the house, which was ultimately cool. And as a kid, to be able to know the people that lived there and go around and play was great. However, that idea of Spot under the stairs, they had a wine cellar, and my older siblings who knew the previous family would always tease me that Spot was downstairs and was going to get me, so I never wanted to go to the wine cellar, but because it was pretty creepy. But very cool house, still stands today. New owners unfortunately have moved some things around that I wouldn't have done, but hey, what are you going to do? So that's just, again, Munsters lore. Love it. Really cool that they came up with that idea, sort of make a funny, happy thing, and really have this little hodgepodge conglomerate group of different types of monsters and things together, as a normal thing, like Leave It to Beaver, which I had seen on the internet that the people who produced Leave It to Beaver actually also produced the Munsters, so maybe that's not an accident. I just want to know who's Wally, in their in their world. I do think the Addams family, different, very different. The Munsters acted normal, were accepted for normal, sort of behaved normally, give or take like what they ate and the house itself. But like Herman would take a little lunch pail and go off to work, and they just accepted him for who he was, which was really cool. The Addams family was never working or leaving the house. Like, they were their own entity, and nobody accepted them. Everybody thought they were freaks, and they just lived in their freakdom, which is a whole different kind of cool. So they never really branched out. I mean, once in a while they would go somewhere. They'd have like the Addams Family goes to such and such, but they never really left the house. Gomez has money. You never really know from where, but he's not going off to a job every day with a briefcase. And it's funny because Gomez, always generally Hispanic. Obviously, with Raul Julia when they made the movies, and of course they've subsequently made it even more. But he always had that kind of savoir-faire to him, even though it was Sean Astin's father initially. He kind of had that. It was always the play on Mon Chéri and oh mi amor, so it was always the French versus the Spanish. But let's be real, there's nothing French other than saying a few words from Morticia, who again was just sort of this Bride of Dracula look, and Gomez was just sort of a dark-looking guy. Like, he was just sort of I don't even want to say sinister, but just that sort of creepy look. It wasn't that he was a vampire or anything like that. They were just their own little odd breed of like dark lore. Lurch, of course, definitely had the Frankenstein look to him, but never really was meant to be Frankenstein. Thing, I mean, all their accessory characters, Cousin It and the Thing, that was really cool. Obviously, Uncle Fester putting the light bulb in his face and lighting it up, kind of weird, but like, I don't know, it could be a hunchback, you could argue that. Wednesday's just totally creepy. Now she's got her own show. I have to watch that. I haven't done that yet. And Pugsley was just sort of a dark little dude that would run around and play with a guillotine, because that was totally normal. So that whole dynamic, and the mom was more of a witch. I could see that the mom was a witch. I could see that you would have kind of a Frankenstein-ishness with Lurch, and you could definitely see like maybe a hunchback type thing going on with Uncle Fester, but like Cousin It, just a hairy little dude. I don't really know. Like, I mean, I guess you could argue he wasn't really a wolf. He was just a hairy little thing. And hand, the thing was just a hand. So it was like weird and unique and creepy, but it wasn't really per se a monster, whereas the Munsters were literally monsters, and they kind of paid homage to all of them. So it's cool that, like, I don't know, I'm fascinated that these two types of shows are very similar, on the air around the same time. Everybody bought into them, watched them. They're still in syndication, having movies made about them, having books come out, having different animations. Kids dress up like them still, and it just speaks to the goodness of simplicity, because you don't have to make a huge deal out of something in order for it to stick. Sometimes less is more, and it was just funny and campy, and it was safe to watch. Nothing actually creepy happened. They might give a nod to it or mention like a seance or a black crow would come, or there would be some superstition that happened, but nothing really bad ever happened. Nobody ever really got hurt or had anything sinister go wrong. It was always in good fun and good spirits, and meant to be positive and uplifting. So I just think it's cool. I am curious though. Tell me in the comments, what is your favorite? Do you prefer the Munsters or the Addams Family? Because I got to tell you, I'm kind of on the struggle bus. As a TV show, I picked the Munsters any day of the week. I liked the Addams Family, but I liked the characters in the Munsters as a TV show better. I felt like they were more down to earth, and I just loved that that was just them, and everybody accepted them, almost like the Coneheads. Later on, like, they were weird, but that's okay. You're still going to work, And Dan Aykroyd was Mr. Conehead. So it was that kind of a thing where they just embraced the weirdness. With a movie factor, the Munsters tried to make a go of that. I can't say I've seen them all. Some of them went straight to DVD kind of thing. Some were made in the late 90s, like after the fact. I'm all for the original cast. I shouldn't say that Marilyn was replaced after like 13 episodes or something, but I'm all for the normal cast. So, that was standard that everybody saw. And I have to say, movie-wise, the original Addams Family is where I'm at. Now, I know that they've done, like, I don't know, 3 remakes or something, and I honestly haven't seen the animated one that's newer, and I haven't seen the Wednesday series, so I do want to watch that, and I will. And I'm sure it's great writing, because there's so much you could do with that character, and I'm excited to see it. I'm just behind the 8 ball. But when they relaunched it, it's okay, but I really go for the original ones with Raul Julia. I thought they were fantastic, and they did Addams Family and Addams Family Values. So I really like them. So movie-wise, they win. TV show-wise, the Munsters win. Love them both. Tell me in the comments which one's your favorite, or do you have trouble picking like I do? And like I said, we'll put some other links out there for you to check out the book if you'd like. It's going to be in Amazon, Ominous Tales. I also wrote one called Seven Dreams. Love for you to check that out. And there will definitely be a couple of little tiles for you to go check out some other things. If you like all things spooky, macabre, funky, weird, superstitious, this is the channel for you. Check out more Mysterious Morsels and scare that like button, subscribe. We'd love to have you. And I will catch you on the flip side.